Almost a year ago, I made a video on the STM32 World YouTube channel where I was experimenting with overclocking an STM32. Now, I haven't watched it again and I don't remember the detail. I think I was trying on an STM32 F411 and concluded that could not be overclocked very much, and I tried on an F405, which I managed to overclock, I think, up to about 200 megahertz or something like that. I don't remember the detail. But today, I'm going to try to overclock the RP2350. So hang around to the end of this video and you will see how that goes. And I promise you, it'll be quite surprising. So once more, hello viewers and welcome to a new RPP World tutorial video here on the RPP World channel. Like any other video I do on this channel, I will be using our Streamline RP23. It's actually a RP2354 MCU with a DAP-Link debug probe attached. Now, I'll link down below. Please go to current makers and get one for yourself if you want to support this channel. And while you're down there, please do like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. So to play with this, I have created a new RP2350 project in the RP Fun repository, which will be linked down below, so you can simply clone that repository and play with it yourself. First of all, let's try to compile this project and see if that still works. And it did, and let's try to flash it, and let's have a look at the output there. Now I missed the startup, but the startup, it will show that it is running on an ARM Cortex M33 at 150 megahertz, and you can see both cores. This is the example. It started with the example from the last video. So both cores are running at full speed, doing not much else than printing out every 1 second each of them, but 500 milliseconds out of sync with each other. Now, overclocking the RP2350 is actually made really simple by the pico-sdk because there is a function to set the clock pretty much the way you want it. So in the beginning down here at our main, before we do anything else, we will simply try to set the clock to something else. I took this example from another one, but let's for fun start with 200. Now, the interesting thing about this set sysclock kilohertz function is that it automatically calculates all the other things. For example, I set the UART baud rate to 921600, and that will be automatically adjusted depending on the core clock. So let's try to compile this, and that went well. Now let's try to flash it and see what happens. And here we have the output, the serial output. And it's now running at 200 megahertz. Now notice that the serial, the UART is still running at the correct speed, so nothing else changed. The speed also didn't change. It is still, I can show you there, it is still blinking every it's toggling every 500 milliseconds, so it is blinking at 1 hertz. All is good, all is well. Can we go higher than that? Let's try to go to 300 megahertz, so 300,000 kilohertz, which is what this function is doing. We try to compile and we try to flash. it started up at 300 megahertz, no problem at all. Can we do 350? I hear you ask. Let's try to compile at 350. So 300 megahertz, that is actually double the speed that Raspberry Pi is promising. And we see that it flashed, but nothing happened. So 350 was probably pushing it a little bit too much. However, not all is hope is lost, because the STM32 is running on 3.3 volt. Everything is running on 3.3 volt I/O and the core. On an RP2350, the internal core is actually running at 1.1 volt only. And it was probably an attempt on RP to save power, to make it more power efficient, or to run cooler, or what do I know. But since that voltage regulator is internal, it is actually possible to increase the voltage of the voltage regulator. By default, is running at 1.1 volt, 1.1 volt, but we can actually make that higher. And in order to do that, I need to add a header file. So let me do that. Here we need to add this one to make that compile. Let's try to compile. It compiled fine. So now we are trying to set the voltage at 1.3 volt, and let's try to flash the project again and see if this works. It didn't work. Let's try to go back to 300, which we know works. There we go. What can I do? Can I go 320? Yes, no problem at all. Now let's have a look at the header file and see. By the way, I should mention I have not tried this in this. I have not tried to push this so high as I'm trying here. So basically, you have these all the way up to 2 volt. We can try 1.8 volt instead if this one doesn't work. So let's try to go back up to 350. But let's increase this to 1.8 volt. That did not work. Can we do 2.0 volt? Oh, I actually don't know if you can eventually burn up the MCU. Let me try to feel. Not getting hot yet. Didn't want to flash that one. Let's go back down to 300. 300, and let's go back to 1. There. Let's see, that is stable. And we are back up and running. What was it? 1.8, and let's try to do 330. $230 didn't work. 320, as far as I remember, did work. Oh, right. Didn't work. Is it the 1.8 it doesn't like? Seems to be this it doesn't like, so let's try to do 1.5. Let's try to lower this until the highest value where it actually starts up. Didn't work. 1.3 we know works. No, it doesn't work. Oh, it needed a reset, so it must have locked up. Let's see if we can get this one up to 1.5 without trashing the MCU. Yes, I can go up to 1.5. Now let's try 3.3, 330 megahertz, whether that's possible. No, it doesn't seem to work. What if I reset it? No, it is completely dead at 330. So it would appear, at least in my case, flash, that 320 for me at least is the limit, and that is achievable with 1.3 volt internal voltage regulator. So let me try that again. And I can't say with a test like this whether it's going to be stable. It is of course not recommended to do this, but it is quite mind-boggling that it seems to run fairly well at a clock speed more than double of what RP promise that it can do. Now, I'm not going to push this much further, but I do want to show you, I actually asked Gemini about this, and they actually acknowledge the fact that you can easily double the speed to 300. It seems to be about that. You can add basic cooling and a voltage bump, and it should be possible to get it up to 600 megahertz. I have not managed to do that, but I have also not tried a lot. And it would appear that somebody have used aggressive dry ice immersion and got it up to more than 800 megahertz. That is not bad for 150 megahertz MCU. It really isn't, and I don't know what is actually the limit. And how far? Okay, it would appear that 2.2 volt is actually possible. But yeah, all I wanted to show is that you can actually overclock this, and it is 2 lines of code that you need to play around with. So I suggest you try. 320 seems to be pretty much where I can push mine up. Now, Gemini claim you can go higher than that. It is possible that that is on a special development board that is not mine, but on my current maker's Streamline board, which is the one I'm using there, 320 megahertz seems to be about where I can push it without too much effort. Hope you enjoyed this video, and by all means, please play around with this. If you blow up the RP2350 that you have, don't come complain to me. Buy a Streamline board instead. Much better anyway. As usual, please have a wonderful rest of the day.